Hey, welcome back, guys. Came across some stats recently on Q3 of this year on the average home prices in Toronto and how that's increased. And I wanted to share with you what that's going to look like as far as household income if you want to get into these houses. Hey guys, it's Dan from Pekoe.ca. Thanks again for joining me today. And these stats were a little shocking to me, and I wanted to kind of dig into it and just kind of run the numbers. Don't worry, you don't have to get your calculator out. I've done the calculations, but I did want to share with you pretty much what I found. The stats that just came out showed that as of Q3 of 2021, the aggregate home price, so that includes your condos, your townhomes, your detached homes, surpassed $1.1 million in Toronto. That's up almost 5% year over year. And then if you look at just your single family detached homes, and I thought this was really interesting, that's increased 12% year over year, and we're pushing $1.56 million, over $1.5 million for a detached home. So what does that look like as far as household income? Like, what do you have to make in order to get into these homes? Let's take a look at the first one here. So at $1.1 million, keep in mind if you're buying over $1 million, you have to put at least 20% down. There's no insurance that you can get where you can put less than 20%. So right away on 1.1, you've got to come up with $220,000. We also have to look at your unsecured debt. So this is debt such as credit cards, loans, lines of credit that aren't secured to anything. And the carrying cost for that we have to use for our calculations is 3%. So to kind of give you an idea, the most recent stats I could find was back in 2020, where the average Canadian is carrying about $23,000 in unsecured debt. That's $690 a month in payments that we have to use when we're running your affordability or debt ratios. So let's talk about debt ratios. What are they? We have two. The acronyms are GDS and TDS. Gross debt service ratio and total debt service ratio. Basically, one's without your unsecured debt, the other one is with your unsecured debt, and it's just a ratio as compared to your household income, right? So those ratios cannot be exceeded. Don't really worry about it right now, but just know that I've run these to kind of get an idea of what your household income is going to look like. So let's focus on the aggregate information of $1.1 million. When we take into account your unsecured debt of $23,000, you need to make $165,000 gross. It's a lot of money. And you might think, well, okay, well, my significant other, or I've got a co-applicant that can come on, and that'll be more income, right? Right, possibly. But it could also mean more debt. So let's take into consideration dual income, but also twice as much debt. So $23,000 becomes $46,000. So we've just doubled our carrying costs on that every month. So all of a sudden your $165,000 goes up to $190,000 in dual income. It's a lot of money, and it's almost $100,000 each you both have to make in order to afford a house worth over $1.1 million or up to $1.1 million. So that's aggregate. Now let's focus in on just the single family detached homes. $1.56 million. It's a lot of money, guys. And that works out to $312,000 as far as a down payment goes. So you've got almost $100,000 more you got to come up with. But what does it look like for household income? All right, let's assume the same debt of $23,000. That hasn't changed. But what has to change is your income. So single earner, you're gonna have to make $230,000. Now, if you've got dual, and we're using twice as much debt, it doesn't move the needle too much. So you actually have to make just $10,000 more, $240,000. But guys, this is close to $250,000. It's a lot of money to get into the market in Toronto. Anyway, that really shocked me as far as what you need to earn in order to afford a house in downtown Toronto or any type of property downtown Toronto. What I've seen though is that some borrowers are using some other strategies. So there's a couple things you can look at here, guys. One is moving outside of the city. There are many people, myself included, where we've decided to pick up from downtown Toronto and move out a little bit to places that are more affordable. So that's an option if your work and home life allows for you to move. That could be something you look at, is another market that's a little bit more reasonable, a little bit more affordable. The other strategy is if you really want to stay downtown, and Toronto's a great city, but if you want to stay downtown, you can look at renting and then buying a rental property or an investment property, an income earning property in another town or a municipality where it's a little bit cheaper. So those are just two strategies I'm looking at. Anyway, the big takeaway here, guys, is that it's going to take a lot of money in order to afford the average home price in downtown Toronto. I want to know what you guys think, so if you can, comment below. Also, like this video if you like it. Subscribe as well. I'll be coming out with videos every Tuesday and Thursday. Okay, guys, I hope you're having a great day.